Edinburgh High School, home of the Mid-Hoosier Conference's Lancers, as tonight we open our special coverage of Sectional 62 in the 108th Annual IHSAA Boys State Basketball Tournament presented by the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever. The Senators enter tournament play on 10 days of rest, having drawn an automatic ticket to tonight's semifinals with a bye in the first round. Meanwhile, the Cougars of Trinity Lutheran earned a semifinal spot here tonight on Tuesday night with a big thrilling 74-71 win over the Crothersville Tigers. So tonight it's the Senators and Cougars set to clash for a title shot tomorrow night against the homestanding Lancers of Edinburgh, who just won Game 1 here tonight. And your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast of Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220 and on 97.9 here tonight will be Senator Football's own Coach Mark Gibson. Well, for the Senators, as I said, just 32 minutes stand between them and a third consecutive trip to the sectional finals and a chance for a third straight sectional crown. Coach Smith's ball club struggled down the home stretch of the regular season, of course ending the regular season with those 4 consecutive losses, but did show signs of life in each, trying to claw their way back in the late stages of each of those ball games. However, the Senators know all too well that now it's a point of it's win or go home. It's one and done. If you lose, your season is over and you hang up the sneakers for the summer. So we'll see tonight if the Senators can capitalize off of some of the things that they've learned from these last 4 games of the regular season, where they had to again claw their way back in the second half of those ball games. And if they can learn from those mistakes, you got to like their chances here tonight against Trinity Lutheran. Of course, these two teams met back in early December. This was on the back end of a double-dip weekend where the Senators were coming off of a loss to Paola in conference play on the road, and the Senators fell behind there in the second half of the game. Went in down 1 at the half, 30-29, and then in the fourth quarter, early on in that fourth quarter, it was Trinity Lutheran who was able to use a late surge to see some momentum and control, and they were able to knock down a variety of free throws and big-time shots there late in the ball game to propel them to the road win in the friendly confines down in Campbellsburg. In fact, of the 31 attempts they shot from the free throw line, the Cougars hit 14, I believe, of their 18 attempts alone in that fourth quarter of play. So it was a lot of free throws, allowing them to salt that game away against the Senators. Leading that charge was the inside-out scoring duo of the juniors out front, point guard Trenton Shoemaker and A.J. Gerker up front, who took the reins, and they shot 16 of those 18 attempts by the team in that fourth and final quarter in Trinity Lutheran's win over the Senators. In addition, the Cougars showed their high-octane offense, was able to knock down a variety of big three-pointers in that first 3 quarters of play that kind of set them up with that momentum rolling into the fourth. And as I welcome in my broadcast partner for tonight's special coverage here on 1220 and 97.9 of Sectional 62 coverage, Coach Mark Gibson. Coach, this is a group that we know all too well about their perimeter prowess and how good they are on the perimeter shooting the rock. Well, the other night they come in here and blistered the Tigers of Crothersville, went 12 of 21 from downtown in that win on Tuesday night. So how did the Senators attempt to contain that outside shooting threat? What's their magic mojo defensively that they try to work up here tonight to prevent this from becoming a three-point onslaught in a track meet?
Well, obviously you have to close out on shooters, but I think the main thing is we have to contain Shoemaker. He does a great job, according to MatchTrex, he's averaging 8.8 assists a game. So you have to keep him in front, because if you let him get into the lane, he's either going to drop it off for a layup, or he's going to see those guys, Gerker, he's going to see Rowe, he's going to see the freshman Marksberry out at the three-point line, and he's going to find those guys because he's that good of a point guard. So the biggest thing is keep him out front, give him a little bit of space. Even though he did knock down 3 triples against us, in the first game, I'd rather have him be the guy shooting and then us, rather than us having to sag down in, and he's finding those open shooters, so hopefully maybe, we keep him out front. It'll be interesting. You think, or will they put Parker Green on him, or will they keep Holden? They had Holden on him in the first game. So it'll be interesting to see if they put Parker on him Parker did a great job the last month of the season. Coach Smith wasn't afraid to put him on the team's best player or best playmaker. So it'll be interesting to see if Parker's on him. But we have to contain Shoemaker.
Well, of course, tonight's opponent, the Trinity Lutheran Cougars, come in with a similar record, 8-16 on the year. Coach Brian Stuckwish, of course, hopes that he can avoid history repeating itself, as last year his group fell to the Senators down at Borden in sectional play in that sectional semifinal matchup, as the Senators took control and were able to dominate in that game last year in sectional play. And obviously this is a group, as we said, that they like the offensive side. They don't necessarily hang their hat on the defensive side of the ball, and they give up a whopping 73 points, or nearly 73 points per game. When we played them the first time, they were giving up north of 80 points a game. So knowing this, Coach, this is a game where the Senators are going to have to be extremely efficient offensively. They're going to have to be able to get after it on the offensive end, picking their spots, not being afraid to be the aggressor, but it's going to be a matter of when to take it off the dribble. We get in that three-man weave out front. When do we pick our poison? When do we pick our spots? And when we do pick our spots, we have to be strong and aggressive to the rack, try to get to the foul line, kind of flip that free throw disparity that we had in that first game between the two teams. Again, they shot, I believe, 31 in that first matchup to our 8 of 11 for the ball game. So hopefully tonight the tables are turned. But of course, Coach, as we said, it's a young team, and take nothing away. Those freshmen that we have, Parker, Jake, Holden, those guys are really like sophomores now, coming into tournament play with a full season under their belt. But you just wonder how they're going to respond under the big lights. I like to think that I know in my heart how they're going to respond, but you don't know until that ball goes up.
Yeah, this takes me back all the way back to November. Those first few broadcasts, which that first Trinity Lutheran game was pretty early in the season, we would open the broadcast, well, this is those freshmen first varsity game. This is their first away game. This is their first holiday tournament. Go a little bit farther, this is the first Valley tournament, first conference game. Well, we're kind of back to that this is freshmen, their first postseason game. Yeah, they played a lot of AAU ball in the summers and stuff and a lot of tournaments, but there's no tournament like this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see if nerves are a factor. It's a young team. Like I said, first time in, but we've seen these guys all year long. I think you kind of made fun of me when I said called Holden Steady Eddie. They've been steady all the way through. So there might be a little bit of nerves there in that first quarter, but we've seen them come up big in big circumstances before, so I don't think it would last the whole game. So yeah, there'll be some nerves, but these guys, like you said, they've got a lot of PT through this season, so they basically are sophomores, and sometimes I don't like that because you're still going up against older veteran teams, but this is another team. Lutheran isn't super veteran either. They play a lot of sophomores and junior, a couple freshmen, so there's going to be nerves on that side too. I would think, even though they've got a game under their belt, they know that the Senators can be a tough out, so there'll be some nerves on the other side as well.
Well, as we continue on with our special coverage here of Sectional 62 from Edinburgh High School, home of the Lancers here in the Mid-Hoosier Conference, we await the teams to take the floor. They put some time up to be able to take care of the floor and get things kind of reset here. So as we await the teams, we want to take this opportunity during our special countdown to the tip on our Senator Tip-Off pregame show to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Senator Basketball on WSLM, again on 1220 AM and 97.9 on the FM dial, as the Senators open up tournament play. And again, just one game needed under their belt to get to tomorrow night's championship game. And as also, we want to take this time to thank our sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator Basketball possible. Tonight's pregame coverage brought to you by a new pregame show sponsor, McDonald's of Salem, there on South Main Street. So we appreciate Marie Lowry and her gang for being our special pregame show sponsor here this evening as the Senators start to make their way down to the floor. And Senator Nation to our immediate left comes to their feet, a good following up I-65 tonight to watch these boys in tournament play. We also want to thank our other sponsors, not just McDonald's for being our special pregame show sponsor here tonight, but also a big shout out to Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They'll bring you the Senator halftime report, as well as Ace Hardware of Salem, bringing you our full postgame show coverage here from Edinburgh High School. We also want to thank Walmart of Salem, Brady Bishop and Channel Seed, Salem Crossing, and Meadowview Healthcare. We're going to take our first break of the night as the boys make their way onto the floor. It is 20 minutes and counting to the tip. We'll step aside. We'll get our first timeout in of the evening to hear a word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. And after that 60-second timeout, we'll come back. We'll be joined by Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith, and we'll get his thoughts on tonight's matchup with the Cougars of Trinity Lutheran here in sectional 62. Wild packed house here tonight in Edinburgh. Stick with us. We'll have more of our pregame in a moment. You're listening to coverage of the Senators in sectional 62 on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, home of the Pacers, the Reds, the Boilermakers, and the Hoosiers. WSLM 1220 AM, 97.9 on the FM dial.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA member schools and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show as we open up coverage tonight of the Senators in sectional 62 here at Edinburgh as the Senators drew the bye, and they will take on the winner from Tuesday night against the Crothersville Tigers, and that is the Trinity Lutheran Cougars, coming in with a record of 8-16. Senators 8-15 on the year, Coach. Strong possibility that your guys will probably be a little bit fired up for this one because it was a game that early on in December that was a matchup, coming off that Paoli loss, and I think maybe the guys may be still feeling a little bit of the effects of that tough game over at Paoli, a game where you fell 73-64 at home and just a rough night. So I'm sure the guys will be fired up and they're going to be ready for this one.
Well, I'd hope they'd be fired up to play this team. That game, we had the tempo where we wanted early, and we were able to build an 8 or 10 point lead, and then we were really undisciplined, and we came down and took within like 5 possessions of taking some really bad shots or turning it over. Trinity capitalized. It seemed like they scored on every one of those possessions, and the next thing you know, instead of being up 8 or 10, now we're down 2 going in at the half, and it happened in a matter of a few minutes at the end of the second quarter. I think we're a much more disciplined team now than we were way back in December. So it's just going to come down to pace of play. Who's going to have the best chance to win this game? They if they score in the 70s, they're a 500 basketball team. That's their best winning percentages when they score in the 70s. When teams are able to keep them in the 60s, 50s, 40s, that winning percentage goes down considerably. So likewise, we have won the majority of our games when we're scoring 40s or 50s, even 60s a few games. So it's just going to come down to our best chance of winning is keeping this thing, probably in the 50s. If we let this thing if we decide to play their pace of play, and getting a shootout with them, the odds aren't in our favor.
And of course, Coach, you go back and you look at that first meeting back on December 9th, and again, like we said at the top of the conversation, that was a game coming off of that tough Paoli loss the night before on the road, where I thought the guys early had some good energy. In the first quarter, you're up 13-10, and you get good balance. Four guys getting the scoring column in that first quarter, and even through that second quarter rather, going into half, like you said, pretty good. Overall first half offensively and right where you wanted to be. And then, of course, you take into consideration that you're in a one-possession ball game at the half, and you got a guy like Holden that hadn't even scored at that point.
Yeah, but really that game, it was just that last couple minutes of the second quarter where we had just some really impatient possessions, and we fell into their trap of playing their pace, and it seemed like that momentum was huge, and they took that, out of the half, and they just built it up. It was really the last few minutes of the second quarter and the first handful or first couple minutes in the third quarter where they were able to build a little cushion, and the pace of play was established, and we would have to play chase or catch up, and that just played right into their hands. And of course they ended up shooting like 30 free throws in that game because we were trying to pressure them and play into their strengths. But I think we know who we are a lot more now, and certainly now we know what they're about. And so again, I think we're prepared for this as far as from a basketball perspective, X and O's. I don't know how prepared we'll be. We got a lot of guys. It's going to be their first experience in a sectional atmosphere. So getting through that and not getting ourselves in a hole is going to be huge. We want to get off to a good start, and hopefully the guys can get to feeling good about things early, and we can execute our game plan.
And for those who don't remember, that was a game where we were still without Cam. One of the games he missed due to still dealing with that concussion from the Eastern game early on in the year, and then Holden there late in the ball game takes a shot as well, although his scoring had picked up there in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, that's been a story of our season, really. We've had poor Cam. I mean, he's missed 5 games, and it seems like we've had 11 or 12 games where we've had key players out, or we lost Holden there at the end of that game, and it's just, again, I think we're a lot more stable now than we here at the end of the year, fortunately, than we were throughout the year, the majority of the season. So I mean, I think we know everybody's kind of knows their role and knows where they fit, and it's just again going to come down to we need Cam to step up and play like a senior. We need Nick to step up and play like seniors, and have some poise and some leadership. Even though they, in all reality, they've got a little experience in sectional games and regional game, but not a ton. So our inexperience concerns me since Trinity's already been out there on Tuesday night, and they kind of got, for their young guys, got that out of the way. But I think our guys are competitors, and they'll battle through that and be ready to play, and hopefully we can get off to a good start and establish our pace of play.
Obviously, Coach, there's matchups that you can look at from that first game and tendencies and things you could take away by looking at the film, but at the same time knowing that game was nearly 3 months ago, how much does that factor into the adjustments or your game planning going into this matchup?
Well, the Shoemaker kid, number 4, just killed us. He's just really quick. He's averaging 9 assists a game. He's really the guy that makes everything go for them. And he did a nice job against us. We got in early foul trouble due to his penetration. We really struggled to contain him. So, we're going to have to do a better job of controlling him because he's got a lot of shooters around him, and he gets those guys looks. The row kid, number 12, got to find him in transition, and just got to have a hand in his face, and he's going to make some with a hand in his face. He's shooting 43% from 3, and he's taken over 200 on the year, and you don't shoot like that if you don't hit some threes with probably a hand in your face some. So I'm sure he's not had 217 wide open looks. So I mean, he's a great shooter, and we're gonna have to do a good job on him. And but their offense, again, a lot of it is created off of Shoemaker and his ability to create off the dribble, and he sees the floor really well, and and he's a great passer. You know, you don't average 9 assists a game if you're not a tremendous passer. So those two in particular are a heavy concern. The Marksbury kid had a big game the other night, and he's hitting nearly 50% from three, and he's really come on here lately. And then the Goecker kids, they're just really active. If you look at their stats, they get a lot off of hustle and rebounds and stuff to the rim as well. So, you know, defensively, this is a tough matchup. I mean, they're scoring a lot of points per game, and they're not a pressing team. They're not a team that, you know, creates a lot off of their defense, which is pretty impressive. You know, if they were a team that was trapping and pressing and like you know most high-scoring teams are, you know, if they could do that, I guess they feel like they can't really do that maybe because you don't see it a lot. But if they were doing that, it'd be scary to see what type of points they were putting up because they can really shoot the basketball and they've just got a nice offense.
And they proved that on Tuesday night in the 3-point win over Crothersville in the opening round, somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 of 21 from deep. And I know that was a focus, setting in and watching some of your practice the other day, Coach, just getting out and putting a hand in the face of these shooters and contesting and telling the boys at the same time you can live with those contested threes if they can make them. It's what you look back at if it doesn't go well in this ball game, the times that we let them get a free one.
Yeah, the other night, Crothersville, they hit 12 or 13 threes, and it seemed like every one of them was uncontested with the exception of maybe one. And we can't let them have that. They'll knock them down. They're just a great shooting team. And you know, the other night at Crothersville, they got into rhythm in the third quarter, and they were able to kind of get it. They never really blew it open, but they were on the verge. And then Crothersville stopped the bleeding a little bit, and they were able to fight back and have a chance at the end. But and that's the thing we talked about is we want to make them, if they're going to hit threes, we got to have a hand in their face, and they're going to make some with a hand in our face, and it's okay. We don't need to hang our head. Sometimes somebody's just a good shooter, and you got to tip your cap to them, but make them earn it. And then, you know, the other thing is don't get discouraged because, you know, if you get down to them, you're still in the game because they're going to keep attacking and shooting. At the same time, if you get a lead on them, as we found out early this year, if you get an 8 or 10 point lead on them, don't let your guard down. Start playing careless because they'll bite you real fast. They'll come back and it's only they're never out of it, you know, because they shoot the three so well. So we're gonna have to play well for 32 minutes and be really focused and engaged and battle the entire time.
Boys have shown that they can definitely battle back in tough situations, especially down the stretch here. Coach, finally, quickly, just what about the health of your team and what your lineup look like?
Well, I think everybody, for the most part, is pretty healthy. Harrison's been battling a bit of a sore throat and some congestion's been going around. But I think he seems like feels a little better today. And then I think everybody else seems to be pretty healthy. We're going to go with Bousman, Green, and Zink at the guards, and then we're going to go with a little bigger lineup with Jake Strange and Nick Morris at the forwards.
Coach, we wish you all the best in this opening game for your group in Sectional 62 and look forward to a nice outing and hopefully a ticket being punched to tomorrow night's championship game.
We appreciate it, and you know, this is the time of year. You focus on one game at a time, and you know, it's win or go home. So you know, hopefully we have that fight in us tonight, and we want to you know, battle and find a way to get to the next level.
Coach Smith joins us here on our Senator Countdown to the Tip, brought to you by McDonald's in Salem, as we bring you coverage of Sectional 62 here on Salem's 1220. We'll have more of our pregame in a moment. You're listening to Senator Basketball on WSLM.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I like our backyard, but the lawn, ugh. So I went to see Eric at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nancy we had some of the best lawn care brands to whip her lawn into shape.
Ace is a place that makes you love your lawn again and again.
Get outside this weekend with Ace Hardware of Salem. 1.5 cubic foot bags of Miracle Grow garden soils for $5.99. Select yard tools are $14.99, and Craftsman push mowers start at $189.99 with your Ace Rewards card.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We welcome you back inside the gymnasium here at Edinburgh High School, where tonight the Senators open up in sectional play in semifinal action, taking on the Trinity Lutheran Cougars. Take a look at a few pregame notes before we get to our keys to victory, brought to you by our pregame show sponsor tonight, McDonald's of Salem. Trinity Lutheran coming in with a record of 8-16, again very comparable to West Washington's 8-15 mark overall. This is an all-time series that spanned 8 seasons, as this is a relatively young program in Trinity Lutheran. Series began back in the 2010-2011 season, and West Washington won that first ever meeting in the friendly confines at Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium, 48-45 that season, although Trinity Lutheran has a narrow lead in the series at 6-4. Last meeting, Saturday night, December 9th, in the friendly confines, Trinity Lutheran down the Senators 73-64. Mars had 11 to lead the pack for West Washington. Meanwhile, A.J. Gerker and Trent Shoemaker, those two juniors, that inside-out duo, combined for 45. Shoemaker with 20, Gerker with 25. And again, they shot 16 of the 18 free throws in that fourth quarter against West Washington as the Senators come onto the floor for their final set of warm-ups, about 4 minutes plus here to go in the warm-up session. Senator fans come back to their feet. Again, this was a game, though, where Holden got kind of knocked out a little bit, so to speak. A little worse for wear there late in that ball game. Ended up having to sit out the next weekend in the holiday tourney against Salem. And Borden and Cam was already out with those concussion-like symptoms from the week prior down at Eastern, and he missed a couple of games before coming back to the holiday tourney. So some faces that Trinity Lutheran didn't have to contend with necessarily, and we'll see how the rotation goes here tonight. But hopefully the Senators come out ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's keys to victories. Again, brought to you by McDonald's of Salem, our pregame show sponsor. John Jones electing not to continue riding along with this for Senator basketball as they dropped their sponsorship after the regular season was over. So we roll on with McDonald's as our new pregame show sponsor, and we certainly appreciate all the support that Marie Lowry and her crew gives us there in Salem, as they are also home to Coach's Corner each week during football and basketball season alike. First and foremost tonight, our keys to victory will be perimeter patrol. We talked about it early on at the top of the pregame. This is a team that shot 12 of 21 against Crothersville here on Tuesday night, propelling them to a 74-71 win over Coach Kilgore's Tigers. And, of course, they'll have to close out on shooters. This is a dribble drive attack style of offense, so they look to get into the paint, kick to open shooters, and they certainly got a wide variety of open looks from downtown on Tuesday night. So we'll have to have good closeouts and locate shooters in our defensive rotation. Secondly, one and done possessions. I can't possibly think that we can get by with letting these guys get offensive rebounds, pull them off the glass, and kick out to those shooters and continue to give them opportunities from downtown. Got to hold them to one and done. And then I think the third and probably the biggest thing, cash in at the line. And we talked about this big differential in that first game, 31 free throws for Trinity Lutheran, 18 of them in the fourth quarter when they were able to salt the game away, compared to 8 of 11 for West Washington in that first matchup. Just was not enough. So again, we've got to be the aggressor early, get to the line. That's something we've struggled with throughout the months of January and February. And those are our keys to victory tonight. Brought to you by McDonald's, a proud sponsor of our pregame show and sectional 62 countdown to the tip here tonight from Edinburgh High School. Be sure to stop in after the big game and try one of their many signature sandwiches, including the Big Mac or Quarter Pounder, as well as their world-famous French fries and their dollar soft drinks and sweet tea. McDonald's is located at 601 South Main Street. Thanks to McDonald's of Salem and Marie Lowry, a proud sponsor and pregame sponsor here tonight for Senator basketball on WSLM. McDonald's of Salem, I'm loving it. We're going to take our final break here. We're going to come back and we'll have tonight's starting lineups brought to you by McDonald's on South Main Street right after this.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup. And the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Back we come to the home of the Lancers, Edinburgh High School. Time to meet tonight's starting lineups for this sectional 62 semifinal round game between Trinity Lutheran and your West Washington Senators. Again, our lineups brought to you by our pregame sponsor, McDonald's on South Main Street. I'm loving it. First for the Trinity Lutheran Cougars, 8-16 on the year, coached by Brian Stuckwish, 34-39 in his third season. They average 66.9 and give up 72.7 points per ball game. They won here on Tuesday night, 74-71, avenging an earlier season loss at the end of January to Crothersville. They lost the regular season game 63-61. Here tonight, they'll start a three-guard set. Number 4, Trent Shoemaker, 5'10", and a junior. He averages just over 10 points a game and 3 rebounds and leads the team at nearly 9 assists per outing. In the backcourt with him will be 24, Tyler Gerker, 5'10", and a freshman. He also averages just over 10 points per game and 5.5 rebounds. The third guard in the set will be 25, Jack Marksberry, 6 foot, and a freshman, 7.2 points per game and 3.5 rebounds. Up front, the forwards, number 12, Jacob Rose, 6'1", and a senior. He'll be accompanied by 32, A.J. Gerker, 6'2", and a junior. Rowe averages 15.6 points per game and nearly 3 rebounds, while Gerker leads the team at 16.1 points per game and 6 boards per contest. For Coach Sean Smith, 60-42 in his fourth season in the Berg, 145 and 131 in his 12th season overall. Senators average 47.3 and give up 49.9. Come in with an 8-15 record overall. They'll start a three-guard set, as you heard Coach mention. Bousman, Zink, and Green. Holden, 6 foot, and a freshman at 8.2 points per game and 4 assists, is joined by Cam Zink, the 6-foot senior at 4.5 points, 2 rebounds, and Parker Green, a 6-foot freshman at 7 points and 3.5 rebounds per contest. Up front, a little bit of a change. Jake Strange, the 6'4 freshman big man, will start with 6'3 senior Nick Mars up front. Jake averages 4.5 per game and 2 rebounds. Nick leads the team at 9.1 points per game and 4 rebounds per contest. Tonight's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials are Mr. Paul Beam, Mike Pauley, and Ty Mungle. Your 2, 4, and 6 officials in this sectional 62 tournament. And away we go from Edinburgh High School. Senators control the opening tip. So glad you could join us here tonight on 97.9 and 1220. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson, as well as Craig Akers running the live stream video feed for you here tonight. Just over 20 seconds in, and Trinity Lutheran coming out a little loose man-to-man, a little sagging pressure here as the Senators have decided to come out and kind of spread the floor in a 2-1-2. Now they'll go into their offensive set as they'll start to run cutters through the paint as usual with that little pass and slash offense and motion cuts out of the high post like you'd see in the flex. 45 seconds in, we'll see how patient we are and what kind of first look we get, Coach.
I like them being patient like this. It helps settle the nerves just a little bit in that first possession, especially for an inexperienced crew.
Holden Bousman controls out front. Senators in their road blues tonight. They are the guest team on the scoreboard. Road blues trimmed in white and red letters and numerals. As Trinity Lutherans in the home white threads trimmed in dark navy and gold. Senators moving on your WSLN dial from left to right to start things out here tonight. As they continue to look at cutters through the paint, Zink controls out front. Senators have already burned a minute and a half off the clock as Coach Smith's kind of had his guys be patient and take a play out of Coach Doc Nash's playbook and decide to maybe take the air out a little bit and keep this thing at a snail's pace.
Yeah, that's you know, Lutheran wants to get up into a track meet, so it's good. Settles the nerves, takes Lutheran out of the game that they want to play.
See how patient we are. Coach Smith starts to bark out directions, and now they've went out of that dribble weave set out front with cutters in the high post to a backdoor screen on the little flare, holding for three, and he rattles it home. The freshman lights out on his first shot from downtown. Holden gives the Senators a 3-0 lead out of the gate, and Trinity Lutheran answers right back with a three from Jacob Rowe. 3-3, our first official tie of the night. And we'll see how patient the Senators become on this second trip. As Holden was able to come off of that little flare back screen to the right wing and rattle one home from deep. 2.5 gone by here in the first quarter of play from Edinburgh. Sectional 62 coverage. 3-3 in the early goings here between the Cougars and Senators.
You heard Coach Smith said you've got to at least get a hand. That was probably an uncontested look. I would consider that uncontested. Got to get out on Rowe because he is a sniper.
Might be something we can track tonight on the stat sheet, how many uncontested looks they get. As Mars controls it out front, gives it off to Parker, and the freshman will dribble out of trouble back between the circles now. Lays it off for Zink on the right side. Senators continue to chew on the clock. Under 5 minutes to go now, first quarter of play. 3-3 here early as they continue to shuffle guys through. Bolton nearly loses the handle, and they'll kick it back out to Parker to reset it. Again, Strange and Mars up front getting the start tonight. See Harrison Sanford, I'm sure, pretty soon off of the bench for one of the two. Could even see a big lineup with throwing him in the mix for one of these guards early. In the high post, they go to Mars, right side, back out now to Green, over to Bousman. Holden, stopped, thought about it, moves it up now to Zink, back out to Green. Back to Holden, who reverses it left side to Zink, and they'll continue to pass away, cut away, and then Holden will come back and get it and save it above the volleyball spike line. Back into the hands of Zink now, left side. He starts to use up the dribble to clear people out, and it'll be an exchange of Bousman and Green from the right side again. We are halfway home in this first quarter, 3-3, and the Senators go back to the same play. And Holden this time can't hit the runner off glass, but Nick Mars goes up strong off the offensive board, and Holden comes up with a steal, goes up, couldn't get the basket. But our first turnover of the night goes to the Trinity Lutheran Cougars as Holden caught it off the flare, off the back screen again. Dribble drive, missed the shot. Mars had a chance off the offensive rebound, couldn't get it to go. And off the defensive board by Trinity Lutheran, they have it stolen away as Holden's able to intercept the pass. Holden hits his first free throw of the night. 24 of 34 on the year for 71%. Missed the second, but there's Mars on the offensive glass again. And the continuation of this dribble drive and this little three-man weave will start over as the Senators will grind on that clock once more. 3:37 and counting first quarter. 4-3. Senators back out in front by one. They'll kick it cross court in the corner. Green sends it back out top. Holden will turn around and look at Coach Smith and get direction. Good decision, good patience by these freshmen out front with Zink, the senior.
If we'd have made that extra pass a little bit quicker, Holden might have triggered on that one, but he made a nice decision there.
You could tell Holden's feeling it tonight, too. He knows, and taping his ankles. Here he comes, corner pocket three, wouldn't go left side. Told him he could play reckless tonight, fearless. It's win or go home. And you could just tell he had that look in his eye, Coach.
Yeah, and he told Philip that he really liked this gym. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he takes a bunch of shots tonight.
Rowe tried to answer with another three to give Trinity their first lead, come up short from the right corner. 2:43 and counting, and the Senators have it once more. Holden controlling it out front, brings it back now to center court, off to Mars. Winner will get Edinburgh, the host, tomorrow night at 7:30. As Strange catches in the post, trying to kick out to the senior Zink, and throws it away. First giveaway of the night for West Washington at the 2:31 mark of this first quarter. 4-3. Senators in a little 2-3 Syracuse, Jim Boeheim type of zone, as they'll spread things out up top, and their wings will come out to help cover. And on the baseline, nice flash and underneath. Nice catch and finish by Jack Marksberry as he gets the easy layup, and Trinity has their first lead of the night at 5-4. Got to communicate on that back line, Coach.
Yeah, if we don't communicate and somebody pick him up, you know Shoemaker's going to find him. 9-point 9 assists a game. He's going to find them.
Zink gets into the paint, had his shot partially blocked. Senators come up dry on that possession, their shortest possession thus far of the quarter. And it'll be a dribble drive kick, and Holden's got his second steal. And it counts for both of the turnovers here early for Trinity Lutheran, 5-4. Cougars operating with their first advantage of the night, minute 36 and counting here in this first quarter of play. Parker out front, gives it back to Holden. Quick dribble drive, leaves it for Mars, swings into the paint, couldn't get the layup to go. Trinity Lutheran will race back the other way as Mars catches up with the pack. They'll try to send it cross court, and that'll be turnover number 3 here early for Trinity Lutheran.
Got to make those plays. If we're going to win tonight, if we're going to beat this team, we can't miss bunnies. You got to make those shots.
And Coach Smith did emphasize that in practice. Watched again for about 45-50 minutes the other night during practice, and he talked to his bigs about catching on that baseline, using that little crab dribble to explode through the contact. Don't worry about trying to avoid, go through the contact, and if we get a shot at the line, an and one, that's great, but don't shy away from that contact, and you got to finish.
Yeah, you can't just look for the contact. First time we played them, we were 18 of 43 from inside the arc for 42%. We're going to win, and I told Philip this the other night, if we're going to win, we need to shoot upward inside the arc 45% or better.
And on the air, Senators shooting it at 41% overall, 46% from two-point range, so again, we'll see if they can muster up a pretty solid shooting performance. Not too bad here early, but we've had some opportunities in the paint that just would not go as we roll up on 40 seconds to play, first quarter. Senators out front with that dribble weave, continue to chew clock. They have definitely owned the time of possession battle here in this first period of play. Again, 5-4 here early. Low-scoring battle. Coach Smith, I'm sure, would love this game to be in the 30s. That's all West Washington's favor, if that's the case.
Yeah, this is I thought our sweet spot all year long was in the 50s, games in the 50s, but against this team who likes to get up and down like they do, yeah, I agree with you. If this game's in the 30s, that favors us.
Box set for the Senators. They get it to Green in the corner. He'll look to turn around. Fadeaway jumper rattles in and out, no good. Rebound pulled down by Jacob Rowe, and off to the races is Shoemaker. Goes behind the back. 3-ball at the buzzer is left short, and we will come to the close of the first quarter of play from Edinburgh High School in this semifinal game number 2, the nightcap here this evening. Edinburgh's already punched their ticket, and after one quarter of play, Senators trailing it 5-4 here early on the scoreboard. Tonight, you're listening to coverage of the Senators in Sectional 62 on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, WSLM 1220 AM and 97.9 tonight on the FM dial. We'll come back with the second quarter right after this.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Second quarter opens up. Trinity Lutheran with the basketball, and Coach Smith going into his bag of tricks here after a 2-3 zone much of that opening quarter of play. Senators have come out in a box and one. Parker drawing that assignment again in the box and one as they force some travel underneath. Turnover number 4 here early for Trinity Lutheran. Senators with just one turnover in that first quarter of play. And the Senators with that box of one, very effective as they're trying to keep tabs on Shoemaker, who was pretty good against us in that first matchup and pretty good here on Tuesday night as well.
And you still notice on that, Parker was dogging him the entire time. He did a nice job. You can just see a little hint of frustration there in that possession.
Senators with their first possession of the second quarter of play. Holden controls it out front, comes back, and Ty Mungle catching an earful from Coach Bausman and Coach Smith alike. As there's a little physicality down low, and now Paul Bean Number 2 official here at Edinburgh going to whistle Trinity Lutheran for their second foul of the night. Foul away from the basketball as they're trying to work against our bigs down low. Foul's going to go on Jacob Rowe, his first. 6:51 and counting. Nice work on the offensive glass, and Parker getting it done on the board. Senators been very active with their hands on the offensive glass. Nick ended up with 1 or 2 in that first quarter of play.
Yeah, he had 2.
So foul will be on the floor. 6:48 to go. Substitution, our first sub of the night for Trinity Lutheran. That'll be Josh Rowe, who got the start against West Washington in that regular season meeting. Josh Rowe, a 6'3" sophomore at 5.6 points per game. And they get it into Mars. His little shot off the lob pass would not go. So he continues to struggle from in the paint. Zink able to strip it away. So we'll give Zink credit for the steal, although it comes out into the hands of Holden. Zink controls right side, and he's picked up out front, and he's forced to give it off to Parker, who will reset it now to center circle on that enormous E here on Edinburgh's home court.
Great deflection by Zink, and you know, it always seems like Holden's where he needs to be to come up with a steal. You know, it's
Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, he's just a really heady player.
Zink has it out front. Works the dribble. 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter, still 5-4. Senators down by 1. Get it off to Parker, now back to Holden. He'll stand and hold as Shoemaker comes out to pick him up.
If we're gonna, I mean, obviously this is gonna be a low possession game. We're 0 for 6 right now
there
inside the arc. There's
had to back cut the little flare screen backside for Holden, and Mars throws it over his head into the corner, out of bounds. Turnover number 2 of the night.
Calm down. I think we have 2 turnovers, both by our bigs, I think.
Jake had the first one, throwing it into the opposite corner, trying to kick out to Zeke at the end of the first quarter. Senators will go back to their 2-3 zone on this trip. Little 1-3-1 offensive look here for the Cougars. As Shoemaker's going to fire it across, 3 ball off the way, or off the mark rather, from Gerker. And the junior could not connect. So good news for us right now. Trinity Lutheran not shooting the ball very well from outside as they did here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, 1 for 4, 25%. And we're trying to keep it. I think that one was, I don't know, was that contested or not? We were close, but, you know, they're 25%. We'll definitely take that considering they shot 47% from 3 against us the first time.
Zink has it now on the left side, looks high post. Instead, he'll kick it back out to Holden as he surveys the damage. Back to Parker. They'll lob it down low to Mars. Turnaround jumper, in and out, no good. Mars just cannot buy a bucket right now. 4:45 and counting in this second quarter. Still 5-4. Trinity Lutheran in front by 1. Back to the active 2-3 Syracuse zone for Coach Smith's crew. And as they try to hamper this outside shooting for Trinity Lutheran again. Cougars just 1 of 4 to start here. Try to get a cutter into the paint off the backside of their little 1-3-1 zone offense. They'll go near side now on the wing to Rowe. Back across to Shoemaker on the right side. He'll pull up in the face of Zink. That one rattles in and out, no good. And Holden there to claim the big defensive rebound as he hauls it in nearing the halfway point of this second quarter. Senators will get another chance to seize the lead back.
Need to get the lid off the ball.
Nice flare
right now.
And Parker will shoot an air ball. And Mike Pauley's going to say it was last deflected or touched by Trinity Lutheran. So the Senators catch a break there. Parker had the little flare to the corner. Holden
I don't think he was ready to shoot. He forced. That was probably a force.
Holden catches out front. And he'll give it off now to Zink out top as Holden's picked up by Tyler Gerker, so freshman on freshman out front. Parker gets it back.
Somebody's got to move.
We'll start to hear it a little bit for the air ball in that last shot attempt from the cheer block of Trinity Lutheran across the way. Zink with it out front, 3:35 and counting. First half of play, still 5-4. Who would have thought it? And Trinity Lutheran, they give up almost 73 points per game, and they average 67. It's not the pace that Coach Stuckwish certainly was hoping to have here as Holden gets into the paint. Turnaround floater won't go. Jake Strange, offensive rebound, back up and in. Jake continues to help out on the offensive glass, and the freshman are owning this first half with the scoring. Holden's got 3, Jake's got 5, or excuse me, 2 to give us our 5. And it's a long
Marksberry.
2 back to the other end for Jack Marksberry, his second field goal of the night. So Senators seize the lead quickly there at 6-5, and Trinity Lutheran able to take it right back at 7-6.
Yeah, he had just about just the toes over the line on that one.
Underneath, Mars had it poked away, and they may get Shoemaker with the reach in. This will be team foul number 3. Senators yet to commit a personal. We'll see Harrison Sanford, a 6'2" sophomore, check in for his first minutes of the night. Harrison averages 5.7 points per game and 4 rebounds. Mars gets a break, and coming out for Trinity Lutheran was Jacob Rowe, the 6'1" senior. And the Senators turn it over on the inbounds play as Jake couldn't hold on to it. Gets a pat on the top of the head from his classmate Holden Bousman, and they'll come to the other end defensively as we'll see Josh Rowe check out Jacob Rowe right back in. 2:35 and counting here to go in this first half of play, 7-6. Trinity Lutheran in front by 1. Senators in the 2-3 zone. Zink and Bousman out top. Parker and Harrison covering the wings. Jake in the middle. He'll contest a runner, and it will go in the paint. Shot is up and good by Gerker. And it'll be a timeout for Coach Smith. 2:10 to go. It'll be a 30-second timeout. 2:10 to play here in this first half. Largest lead of the night for Trinity Lutheran at 3, 9-6. As Coach Smith will burn his first timeout of the night. While we have a moment, let's step aside 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220 and 97.9 FM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
2:10 to play here in this first half of action. Snail's pace, 9-6. Trinity Lutheran operating with their largest lead of the night thus far. As Harrison Sanford right down in front of us will trigger it in to Holden out of the 30-second timeout by Coach Smith. And the Senators will go back to work against the sagging man-to-man for Trinity Lutheran. 2-minute warning here in this first half. Out front, Holden catches, bobbles it, gets it back. And Coach Smith will call for double down here, so see if we can get a screen for Holden.
Parker needs to sharpen up his passes a little bit.
They're going to get it for Parker instead. Had a chance at 3 and then had it poked away. Didn't look for a shot after that first air ball. And Mikey Nichols, the 5'10" junior guard, is going to check in at 4.5 points per game, and Parker's going to check out. Coach Smith not totally displeased with Parker, but want him to be more aggressive.
Be a little bit crisper as well, I think. You know, he had a couple of passes that guys had to get off their shins, and he just let one get deflected there. So, you know, just a little bit crisper.
Freshman, senior, and junior in the backcourt right now. Bousman out there with Zink and Nichols. Mars and Sanford up front right now. Minute 20 and counting. And
we really need to answer here. We can't, if in that first game, that second quarter really
nice
struggled.
Back cut by Mars, and he caught it and bobbled it. Turnover number 3 for West Washington, second of the quarter. And Nick's continued to struggle from inside the paint.
Yeah,
it's either been bobbled catches or just couldn't get a shot to go there in that first quarter. Had a couple of looks, just would not go down. So tough night, tough start thus far for the senior Nick Mars. We'll see if he's able to respond here on the defensive end. 9-6, 1 minute to play in this first half. On the kick out, A.J. Gerker thought about the 3 Shoemaker. Nice backdoor play. And it's Jack Marksberry with his third field goal of the night. Largest lead for Lutheran at 5 at 11-6.
Well, I'm not a big fan of this lineup. You know, we're not quite as good defensively with this group out here, but so hopefully we can end up with a score here.
Holden stands right in the center circle and holding the ball without any pressure from the freshman Tyler Gerker. He'll step out about 7 to 8 feet away from him perhaps, and he'll start to inch his way up a little bit more as we roll up on 20 seconds to go. Spread look. Coach Smith looks back to Coach Sullivan and Coach Myers. And now he'll bark out what he wants. 12 seconds, 11, 10. High screen from Mars to Holden. Another screen for him. They'll kick it back to Nichols. Nichols will take a screen, gets into the paint, or near paint. Pull-up jumper will not go. And Nichols didn't realize there was time left on the clock as his shot was well short. He just kind of walked back, and the Senators will head up the steps to the locker room to our left, trailing it 11-6 here. And at the halftime break, just 2 points for West Washington in that second quarter of play. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back and begin our Senator Halftime Report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. As we bring you coverage tonight, a sectional 62 semifinal round matchup between West Washington and Trinity. On BBB17 97.9 FM, 1220 on the AM dial.
Yeah, hello, police. Yeah, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Our Senator Halftime Report. Senators trail it on the scoreboard 11-6. You heard me right, 11-6 here at the halftime break as we open up our Senator Halftime Report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. Not a lot to talk about in terms of scoring, so this won't take long. First for Trinity Lutheran with 11 points total on the board here at the half. They get 6 from Jack Marksberry off of 3 two-point field goal makes. Tyler Gerker chips in a 2-point basket as well in the second quarter of play, and Jacob Rowe with the only 3 of the night for Trinity Lutheran thus far. Trent Shoemaker, A.J. Gerker, the 2 that combined for 45 against West Washington in that regular season meeting back on December 9th, held in check and scoreless through the first 2 quarters of play. Off the bench, Josh Rowe also got minutes for Coach Stuckwish, but was unable to tally. As the Trinity Lutheran Cougars did not shoot a single free throw in that first half of play, but they did turn it over 5 times, 3 in that first quarter of play and 2 more in the second period of action. Meanwhile, across the page for West Washington, again, not a lot to speak of with just 6 points on the board here at the half, but playing the pace that Coach Smith definitely was hoping to have, as the freshmen have done the scoring here tonight thus far for West Washington, although again just 6 points on the board. Holden's got 4 of the 6, including a 3-point make to get the game started and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Jake Strange off an offensive rebound got a putback for his lone 2 here at the half. Zink, Green, and Mars go scoreless, of course, and Harrison Sanford and Mikey Nichols play in a few waning moments in that second quarter, but neither one of them, of course, able to tally as well. Senators 1-2, again from Holden in that first quarter of play from the charity stripe for 50% here at the half. Another big storyline, of course, a low possession ball game. Senators, though, with just 3 turnovers. They had 18 in that first meeting with Trinity Lutheran in the loss back in December. So after the first quarter of play, it was Trinity Lutheran with the 5-4 advantage. That was their first lead of the night, and they outscored the Senators 6-2 in the second quarter of play, and that takes us to our 11-6 halftime score here from Edinburgh High School. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back with more of our Senator halftime report in a moment. Coach Gibson will come back and give you a rundown of the team statistics and shooting numbers from the first 16 minutes of play. You're listening to coverage of Sectional 62 in Senator basketball here from Edinburgh High School on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, home of the Pacers, the Reds, the Boilermakers, and the Hoosiers. WSLM 1220 AM, 97.9 on the FM dial.
At Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Okay, back here to Edinburgh High School sectional 62 action where the Senators are trailing 11-6 in a slow down ball game, trying to slow down this track team that Trinity Lutheran likes to throw out there. They really like to get up and down, so we're trying to make it a low possession game, which we've definitely succeeded, and you can tell it's kind of it's frustrating Trinity a little bit. You know, they really love to play greyhound basketball, get out and run, but what they're doing is they're being very efficient, you know, and the Senators, we are not. Some shooting stats: Senators shooting just 1 of 10 inside the arc for 10%, 1 for 4 from behind the arc for 25%, for a grand total of 2 for 14. That's 14%. If you're going to play a slow down game, you have to take advantage of the shots, and when you shoot 14%, you know, it's kind of counterproductive. So we got to do a little, and I bet 3 or 4 of those, at least 4, were just bunnies right at the rim. Got to start hitting those in the second half. Lutheran, on the other hand, I said, you could tell it kind of frustrated them a little bit, but what they're doing is being very efficient. 4 for 4 inside the arc at 100%. 2 or 3 of those on back cuts, so we got to do a better job. If we're going to slow this game down, we can't give them layups, which we kind of have right there. You know, like I said, 4 for 4, 100%. We held them in check from behind the arc, 1 of 5, 20%. But those 4 for 4 inside the arc, right at the rim, all 4 of them, has really, hurt the Senators, like you said, and 3 of them by Jack Marksberry. So, we're going to have to do a little bit better job. I like the strategy. You got to slow them down, but as they shoot 56%, which ironically is what they shot against us in the first game, 55%, although they had a ton more shots because we kind of ran up and down with them, but they're still shooting 56% to our 14%. Sometimes it's that easy.
And that's the numbers from the first 16 minutes of action and how they shake out here, bringing us to this 11-6 halftime score. You heard it right, 11-6. Senators trailing it by 5. We'll step aside, take our final break. Thanks for staying with us through our Senator halftime report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors. We'll come back with third quarter play right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk Walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back we come once again. Edinburgh High School, host site for sectional 62. As we continue on here, second half now underway. Senators open up with the rock to begin this third quarter of action. And the Senators go back with their original starting five. Bousman, Green, and Zink in the backcourt with Strange and Mars up front. Mars down low to Strange on his kick out, had it poked away, and Parker and Holden will track it down and try to reset it as Holden's pass errantly tipped away. Tried to go to Mars on the wing. Turnover number 4 for West Washington. Working in a 5-point hole. Back to a 2-3 zone here with Zink and Bousman back out top, being very active here. 1-3-1 offense for Trinity Lutheran. Shoemaker has it on the right side. Has to come up with a stop here to start things out. We get the stop we need. Jake goes to the floor and he'll be fouled as he's knocked down. Nice defensive glass work by the freshman, and this will be foul number 4 of the night overall, and all 4 of them whistled against Trinity Lutheran, their first of the half, as that one will go on A.J. Gurker. Good news is that's his second, so he's got 2 of the team's 4 Senators yet to commit a personal foul, so limiting, of course, the opportunities for Trinity Lutheran, at least from the foul stripe, as they did not attempt a single one from the charity stripe in that first half of play. Senators just 1 of 2. Zink gets into the paint, can't hit the little floater, got his own rebound, back up and in. So Zink's finally got his first 2 of the night. It's 11-8 as the Senators draw first
They
blood
needed
out
that
of the
one.
locker
They
room.
needed that bad. It's been a long time since we saw the ball go through the hoop, and that gives us a little confidence. Holden with another steal.
Holden comes up with the steal, goes coast to coast, splits 2 guys, had it partially blocked, no call, and then Zink goes over the back. Again, Holden being the aggressor. No contact apparently on the call. Could not get the friendly bounce. 6:25 to go here, third quarter, and the Senators will reset off of the first turnover of the half.
Again, that's a situation he needs to get a little bit stronger. He was playing through the contact. He just needs to go up strong, put it up. If you get fouled, you get fouled.
Senators back to the zone look. Kind of a matchup again, Syracuse style 2-3 zone, with our wings coming out to help cover on the perimeter. And out front, the freshman Gurker, Tyler Gurker, in with what we consider or assume is his older brother, A.J. Gurker. Senators had a poke away for a moment. Green couldn't hold on to it, so they'll stay with the Cougars underneath their own basket. Be a little spread look. They'll try to slash a guy to the basket. That was A.J. Gurker. Instead, they go out to Tyler Gurker, and they'll swing it around on the perimeter. To Gurker, they'll kick out. 3 ball on the way. Marksberry leaves it short. Holden will catch it on the run and now slow things up and wait for the dust to settle as he brings it across the timeline now, and he'll send the offense into motion. Again, pass, cut away, trying to slash through the paint. Parker, a wide open look, dribbles into the high post. Jumper won't go. Had an open look at 3 and passed it up instead as Trinity Lutheran races it back to the other end. They'll go to the corner. That's to Jacob Rowe. Now back out to Shoemaker. Right back to Rowe. Shoemaker, 2-man game with pitch and catch.
They'll watch Gurker inside.
Shoemaker goes right back to Rowe. 3 balls good on the left side. We knew Rowe wasn't going to pass up too many more looks, and it's now 14-8. Largest lead of the night for the Cougars. Holden into the high post, kicks it out to Zink. 4:54 and counting third quarter. Zink spin move, gets into the paint. Little floater would not go. And the Senators will have to reset defensively. 14-8 with 4:40 to go here in this third quarter. Rowe kicks out to Gerker, the Shoemaker, back to Gerker. Marksberry passes up the three. They'll skip it across to the freshman, Gerker, and then he has his pass poked away by Holden. Quick hands, knocks it into the bench of Trinity Lutheran.
And again, we said it, Borden, Orleans, some of those low possession games, you can't afford to get down double digits. So we're going to have to get some stops and get some buckets.
And one thing about it, though, Coach, in those 4 games that we lost to end the regular season, deep three for Shoemaker wouldn't go, rebound pulled down by Strange. The Senators managed to muster their will to come back in each of those ball games, falling short. We'll see tonight if
we're shooting 20% from the floor right now. So if we're going to do that, you know, we got to start putting the ball through the basket. It's just that simple sometimes.
Mars goes right back to Holden, out top, just inside the volleyball spike line. Now to the left wing, it comes to Zink. Zink looks at Strange through the paint. Zink will try to get to the high post, goes back to Holden. 3 ball on the way, right side. It will not go. Strange there to fight for the rebound, and that'll be Senator's second personal of the night.
We cannot buy a bucket.
And we'll see Caden Abels check in for his first minutes of the night. The 5'7" junior will give Zink a break. Zink gets a rest. Abels in again for his first minutes. He'll go out top of that 2-3 zone with Holden with 3:40 and counting to go here in the third quarter. Shoemaker has it right side. 14-8, Senators trailing it by 6. High post catch and turnaround jumper wide open. Jack Marksberry, that's 8 for him. It's 16-8. And that's going to force a timeout by Coach Smith and the Senators. It will be a full timeout with 3:27 to go here in the third quarter. Frustration setting in offensively for West Washington. We'll step aside, we'll take a break, and we'll come back with more right after this.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Senators come out of a full timeout from Coach Smith at the 3:27 mark here of the third quarter of play. Coach Smith will have 2 fulls and a 30 left in his hip pocket. Trinity Lutheran with all of their timeouts. And as the Senators will come back to work on the offensive end, again, very frigid from the floor through the first half of play, and it's continuing here into the third. Abels thought about a stop and pop 3, sends it on the baseline to Parker Green. His shot won't go. Jake Strange offensive rebound. He missed it. And then on the offensive glass again was Mars. He had a chance at an and-1. Couldn't get the shot to go, but he'll be fouled and go to the free throw line. This will be attempts 3 and 4 of the night in the game altogether. Again, Trinity Lutheran yet to shoot a free throw. They did the bulk of their work. 18 of their 31 attempts again coming in that fourth quarter of the first meeting as Mars steps to the line. Finished the regular season 40 of 63 for 64%. Stepped up, knocked the first one down, his first point of the night, giving 2 as he splashes both of them home, and it's now 16-10.
Yeah, you got to get stops. You got to start stringing together some stops here. Like I said, plenty of time, but in this type of game, you have to string together some stops.
Little 2-2-1, 3-quarter court pressure just to slow down the Cougars. See if they can maybe get them to have a miscue or 2 along the way. They safely get it into the front court, though.
Watch that little free throw area. Marksberry's 2 for 2 from that little 15-foot jumper.
He kicks it out to Rowe, gets it back. They go to Shoemaker now, who's picked up in the zone by Abels. High post. They allowed Gerker to catch. Back out to Tyler Gerker. He sends it back to A.J. Gerker to Shoemaker, and they'll skip it across to Rowe. They'll try to go high post, and Abels will be whistled for the reach around. This will be team foul number 3 for West Washington, and for Abels, his first of the night. Trinity Lutheran resetting here against that matchup 2-3 zone. 16-10. Senators trailing it by a half dozen. Coming up on the 2-minute warning here in this third quarter of play. At some point, we may have to come out and start forcing the issue and change things up. We've seen the 2-3 tonight, and we've seen a box and one for a trip or two on Shoemaker, and that's been pretty much it. Shoemaker dribbles into the paint, leaves it off underneath, wide open to A.J. Gerker. His first points of the night, making an 18-10 ball game.
Yeah, that's Shoemaker's 5th assist. So, I mean, yeah, we're slowing him down, but he's finding open men because we're struggling inside the lane, keeping with our guy.
Nice step through in the paint, holding with the up and under, couldn't get it to go. Mars killed it and one. Nice work again on the offensive glass by the senior. Holden had a beautiful move, spin into the paint, up and under, patient, couldn't get it to go, but credit Nick for his job on the glass. He'll have an opportunity for an old-fashioned three-point play. 18-12, foul goes on Shoemaker, his first, team foul number 3 of the half. As Mars finishes the three-point play, give him now 5 on the night, and it's 18-13.
Extending it a little bit here.
And it's a 2-on-2 break. Gerker will leave it off in the corner. 3 ball will not go. Nice job of Holden to get a hand on that one as Rowe couldn't get it to go. And the Senators come out with it. Abels sends it in the corner to Strange. Nowhere to go with it. He'll give it right back to Abels, and coach says, let's go 3 up.
This is a big possession. This is a big possession. Only down 5, minute to go in the third.
The question is, can we burn 60 seconds off the clock here, get one good shot, and massive momentum going into the fourth?
Absolutely. You know, we did. Was that the first quarter? I think we took the last shot in the first quarter. So tried to do it again here in the third, and you're right. That would be great momentum if we can just keep this last shot and put a bucket in here. It doesn't have to be a 3, just any types of points here at the end of the third quarter. And then it's basically 8 minutes to see who's going to go to the sectional championship.
Half minute to go here in the quarter. Holden has it out front, working his ball handling skills, a little back and forth, little tick-tock of the clock. And we're now at 20 seconds to play. Trinity Lutheran cheer block across the way, doesn't like it. And now we'll send the offense into motion. The screen down on the double for Holden, 3 ball, and it will be a foul on Mars, an offensive foul on a moving screen. Ty Mungle with the call. That'll be turnover number 5 of the night. And that'll be Mars'
seconds.
first.
See, you know, that's going to give them this last shot.
Got to get a stop here. 18-13, 8 seconds. Little 2-2-1 pressure. Shoemaker's going to have to get it to Gerker, and he does. To Marksberry in the corner, 3 at the buzzer, won't go as Parker clears the defensive rebound, and it is crunch time. Fasten those seat belts and tighten them up. 8 minutes to go in regulation, 18-13. After 3 quarters of play, Senators trail it by 5. What do they have left in the tank? We shall see after the break. We'll come back with fourth quarter action in sectional 62 right after this.
You know, there are a lot of reasons why we go to a doctor, just to make sure everything is running right. Maybe checking our weight, eyes, ears, nose, and throat, and blood pressure. Now, have you ever noticed how your car or truck is a lot like our bodies? And sometimes we have to go to a car repair place for the same kind of tune-up. And sometimes this happens. Perhaps it's a fender bender, or you slipped on a patch of ice, or you hit a deer, or your teenager driving your car thought he was Mario Andretti. Good thing there's Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They put hundreds of cars and trucks back on the road with outstanding collision repair work, using only genuine replacement parts. A lot of other places don't. And they work with most major insurance companies, from minor dings to major collision work and expert paint matching. Talk to Paul at Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They're open 7:30 to 5:30 Mondays through Fridays. And if you happen to need a loaner, they can handle that too. You'll find them at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Hey, no one can fix it like we can.
Senators open the fourth quarter on defense. Get a good stop as they forced Tyler Gerker into a bad shot in the paint. Abels kicks it on the baseline. And a nice feed to Mars, who lost the handle. He'll go to the floor. Turnover number 3 of the half, 6th of the game for West Washington. Had a great opportunity there. Just could not find a cutter getting into the paint. Shoemaker will race it down. He'll kick it out. Rowe passes up an open look for 3.
Yeah, it didn't look like we weren't very confident. I mean, somebody's got to take the ball and go.
Underneath, it's going to be Trinity Lutheran who tried to go high-low, and I'm not sure why. Marksberry just didn't turn around the way he shot the ball in the paint tonight. He tried to feed it over top to A.J. Gerker. Turnover will be their 2nd of the half, 7th of the game.
They're giving us some opportunities here. We just can't score. I mean, last we scored 7 points in the 3rd quarter. That was our biggest.
3 ball in the corner for Parker Green, and what a time for the freshman to come to life as he knocks down the triple. 18-16. Closest it's been, or excuse me, 18-15, closest it's been in some time. Made Coach Gibson nervous. He started immediately checking his stat page here. 3-point ball game. In 18-15 off the 3 by Parker. His first points of the night, and underneath. Nice assist from Shoemaker to a wide open A.J. Gerker. His 2nd basket of the night. Make it 20-15. And the Senators will come back to the other end now and try to go to work once more. Offensively, it's Abels.
So was that a 2 for Parker then? Or was it a 3?
See, they must have counted him on the line because I thought that
was
going
I think
to make
it should be 16, but maybe he did.
So we'll give him the long 2 instead. And to Abels, he had a 3. Instead, drives in. Nice feed underneath, and Strange had it blocked, and now it'll be an over-the-back foul. Strange got the pass. Not sure why Abels passed up the open look for 3. We'll have to D back up here. Nearly 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. 6:09 to play in regulation. 20-15. Your score back to a 2-2-1. So Senators working with 5 personals here in the half. Second one whistled against Strange as he went over the back, and a 3 ball in and out, no good for Rowe. Rebound tracked down in the corner by the freshman, Ty Gerker. As he goes baseline, tried to finish with the reverse. It won't go. Strange clears it out, and he'll leave it off now for Bousman.
Got to score. We've got to put pressure on them. You know, right now a 5-point lead seems like about an 8-10-point lead because we can't score. Got to put some pressure on them.
Mars with the pull-up jumper. He'll be fouled. And he'll go back to the line on the season. Mars a 64% free throw shooter. That will be number 4 whistled against the Cougars. The Senators were 5. They did not commit one at all in the first half, so nobody in foul trouble here. That foul's going to go on A.J. Gerker, and that's his 3rd for Trinity Lutheran. Mars will get 2 attempts at the line. First one's up, and he soaks it. Nothing but the bottom of the net for the senior. He now has 6 on the night. Second one up and good as well.
Good
Him
money
and Parker
from the
with
line.
2 apiece. I'm going to knock on wood for that one, Coach. 20-17. 1 possession ball game. Back to full court pressure. And the Senators able to hustle back. Dribble drive. Nice behind the back look. Thread of the needle, and A.J. Gerker gets another basket at point blank range. Give him 6 on the night. It's 22-17.
That's 7 assists for Shoemaker. He is a nice point guard.
He drops dimes like crazy again, and he comes in with a monstrous 9 assists per game average. Holden with the hand in his face, misses from 3 on the right side, and he almost comes up with the steal. He'll give chase now into the backcourt. Gerker now will feed it to Marksberry. Had it poked away from behind. Jake Strange and Parker with the steal. Parker gets credit for the poke away. Abels comes down, goes behind the back, brings it back left side. 4:39 and counting. Mars will take 3 right side. That one in and out, no good. Rebound for Parker. He'll be tied up by Gerker. And the alternating possession will go to West Washington with 4:34 to go. 22-17. Cannot trade baskets here. Got to get a basket and stop. Little 2-man stack out to Abels. Thought about 3. He'll now drive. Has it poked away from behind, and it'll stay here. Abels just not comfortable perhaps with his outside shot. Don't know, but he's had a couple of opportunities to try to take one from deep. Perhaps just trying to exercise some patience as Holden catches out top. They go right inside to Jake with a hook shot. And the freshman big man has his second basket. It's 22-19.
One possession ball game, but you got to get a stop.
4:20 and counting. Rowe to Shoemaker. Had it poked away underneath. They go to Gerker. He misses it. Underneath, and we'll have a Senator foul. That'll be our 6th. And a foul on West Washington will send A.J. Gerker to the line. That'll be on Parker Green, his first on the year. A.J. Gerker, 66 of 86 for 77%, but that one's short.
Is that their first free throw of the night?
That's their first one of the night at the 4:13 mark.
I think he hit 9 of 11 the first time that we played.
And he soaks the second one, so make it 7 on the night for Gerker. Timeout on the floor is a full timeout. 4:13 to go. 23-19. It's a full timeout for Coach Stuckwish. That's his first one taken of the night. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with more fourth quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
At Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back out of the timeout by Trinity Lutheran. 4:10 and counting here in regulation. 23-19 is your score. Mars has it. Little flare to Holden on the opposite side. They'll go back out to Parker for 3 on the way. It's good. No doubt about that one as the freshman now has 5 on the night, all in this fourth quarter, and it is 23-22 with 3:50 and counting off the 3 by Parker. Senators with a huge shot. Now let's see if they can come up with a big-time stop as well.
Yeah, that was, and he shot that a lot more confident his last couple than in the first half. So, yeah, we need a stop here, and then I'd go right back to him.
So Parker pretty passive offensively in the first half. Going after it here in this fourth quarter. Senators will come out now and apply some pressure. And underneath, they leave Gerker open again. That's now 9 for him, and it's 25-22. Still a one-possession ball game. 3:10 and counting. Timeout for Coach Smith. And it's going to be a full timeout. That'll leave him with 1 of each. 3:08 to play here in the fourth. Senators trailing at 25-22. Harrison Sanford back into the lineup when we come back from the break. Senators trailing it by 3. You're listening to coverage of the Senators in sectional 62 on WSLM.
Make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Play. Holden to inbound down in front of us here above the coach's box line. Holden gets it left wing as he comes back from Marsh. He'll take it now right side. He'll be jumped off of the screen. Shoemaker will try to finish at the other end and does for his first basket. A huge one at that. 27-22. Turnover number 4 of the half. 7th of the game for West Washington. Backdoor cut for Parker. He goes up strong and he'll be fouled. Lutheran thought it was a clean block, and this will be team foul number 5. Senators have committed 6, and this one's going to go on Gerker, and that's huge. He's been their offensive mainstay in the second half, and he's just picked up his 4th. So we will see 21, Josh Rowe, perhaps check in for him as Parker rattles the first one home. 20 of 33 in the regular season for 61%. Parker with 6 points all in this quarter.
After Shoemaker picking Holden's pocket there, we almost have to play perfect now. Under 3.
Parker rattles them both home, so give him now 7 on the night. 27-24, back to a one-possession game. Rowe catches it, gives it off. Senators nearly come up with a steal. And a timeout by Coach Stuckwish as he saw the wheels start to spin off in that possession. Senators come up with the near takeaway. And it will be a timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout, so that'll leave Coach Stuckwish and the Cougars with 2 fulls and a 30 with 2:39 to play here in regulation. Let's step aside and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Senators in Sectional 62 on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
On the game reset, 2:39 to go in regulation. It's a one-possession ball game, 27-24. Senators' last lead was at 6-5 early in that second quarter of play. Box set for the Cougars. Out of timeout, Gerker breaks to the corner. They'll roll Marksberry to the block, and they'll have to send it out to Gerker, who catches out top, and he's picked up by Mars. Senators in the man-to-man defense. Zink will check in. Next dead ball opportunity with 2.5 to play. And it's going to be a jump ball, and the arrow will stay with Trinity Lutheran. Nice tie-up out front. Zink in. Sanford back out. Nice defensive possession, though, for Sanford. He'll look to go right back in perhaps here in a moment.
Seemed like he took an extra step even right before that tie-up.
So the jump ball at 2:25, so now the arrow in favor of West Washington. As time winds down, Shoemaker's going to drive and flop to the floor. And we're going to have a team foul against West Washington, their 7th.
Is that on the floor? Why is it?
It's a 1-on-1.
Oh, 1-on-1.
7th team foul. So that one's going to go on Zink, his 2nd. Strange has 2 as well. Gerker will check out with the 4 personals.
Shoemaker made a living from the line in the 4th quarter in that first round or matchup.
73 of 92 on the year for 79%, and his first one is up and good. He's been so quiet, scoreless through 3, and he's got 3 looking for number 4.
The rest of the stat sheet is not that quiet. 7 assists, 2 assists, a deflection.
Second free throw upcoming. He made the first, 28-24, 2:15 to go. Second one is up and good. 4 points on the night for Shoemaker. 29-24, 2-possession ball game. Senators are going to need a bucket, not necessarily a 3. Sagging man defense again for Trinity Lutheran. Mars catches, brings it back out top. Now off to Parker. Parker right back to Holden. Holden looking to go off the dribble against Marksberry. He'll step back in Marksberry's face and knock down a 3. Second triple of the night for
Get
Holden.
a stop. Get a stop.
29-27. Ice water in Holden's veins as he pulled the James Harden with a little crossover step back. Able to soak the long-range 3. And a timeout taken across the way. Shoemaker was in trouble. Timeout on the floor. Let's see what they go with here. And it's going to be a full timeout. And that'll leave Coach Stuckwish with 1 of each in his hip pocket. Minute 36 to go. Tell you what, we'll keep it right here. 29-27 off the 3 by Holden. 2-point ball game. If you ever needed a score and stop, and again, we talk about this being on the goal board, coming out of halftime in football season. You come out of the half, you get a score and a stop or a stop and a score in either order, and then you feel pretty good about yourself. If we could get one here in this possession, boy, we are setting pretty.
Screen at the high
it makes a big difference momentum-wise. So if you, like you said, it's up on the goal board to stop and score, or vice versa, score and stop. But right now, we need to stop and then the score here. So, you know, it's obviously we got to make sure we keep Shoemaker under control. Like I said, he's got 7 assists. So watch him penetrate and dish him.
So Harrison will give chase in the backcourt, and they're going to give up the foul on Gerker. So Harrison gives up the personal. That'll be team foul number 8.
We trying to prolong the game, you think? Or is that just on the scouting report, send him to the line?
Well, Gerker on the year, 75 of 102 for 74%. I don't know if they're trying to put a freshman in a tight spot in the moment. 1 in bonus. That one rattles in and out. Good gamble. He could not connect. He's got 2 on the night, 0 for 1 from the free throw line. Senators a chance to tie or take the lead. Abel's with it, splits a double team, goes into the paint, and it's going to be a kick ball. He had Holton open for 3, tried to split the difference to Zink on the block. Minute 23 to go. Senators have it underneath. Stack on the ball side. They'll try to throw it out. Parker throws it away nearly. Zink comes up with the possession. And the Senators are a little ragged right now. Zink gets into the paint. Runner will not go. And now it's going to be a foul as Mars tried to reach in on Shoemaker and tie him up. Not sure that's the shot we needed. We still had a minute 12 to go. So now we'll send Shoemaker.
No, I don't know how many timeouts we have left. That would have been a good possession for a timeout because it was all for Flugel.
So Gerker, Tyler Gerker, the freshman, back to the free throw line. Foul was on Mars, his 3rd. And that one good. Should have made good on the first miss. 30-27, minute 12 to play.
Now make sure we got a check out here, box out in case he misses. You can't give up the second chance point.
And both of them up and good for Gerker. The freshman coming through in a big way. 31-27, got to go, 70 seconds to play. And a timeout for Coach Smith.
That last possession was big.
Full timeout for Coach Smith. I'll tell you what, we'll step aside. We'll get a break in this time. We'll come back with more right after this.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back out of the timeout by Coach Smith and the Senators. 67 seconds to go. Senators are going to need to get a basket quick, not necessarily a 3, as they'll get it into Abels. Abels now look to go off the dribble, goes behind the back, gives it back to Holden. 3 ball right side. And that one off the mark, no good. And a strong rebound by Marksberry. Holden had to look off a little peel back. Following Abels. Abels got the kick out, and it'll be double bonus now, as that'll be team foul number 10. 57.5 seconds to play. Foul's going to go on Zink, his 3rd. And Marksberry to the free throw line, a 64% free throw shooter overall. This group shoots 73%. First free throw up and good for Marksberry. And both of them good. So a little deja vu. They're hitting all their free throws
7
here
of 9.
in the 4th quarter of play. Hadn't shot one until the 4:13 mark. Abels gets into the paint, little spin move, and rattles one home. And they'll come up and pressure now. 33-29. Trap. Zink with the steal, gets it off to Abels. Count it! Off the steal. Abels with back-to-back baskets, 33-31. Half minute to go. The trap is on in the backcourt and a foul given up. And they will foul the freshman. So Abels, spin move, razzle-dazzle, gets into the paint, hits the floater, and then Zink able to get the steal in the full court pressure, poked it back inbounds. Heads up play, giving it up to Abels, who got back-to-back baskets within about a 3-second span. His first points of the night, 33-31. And back to the free throw line goes Shoemaker, the junior point guard. He's 3 for 3 on the night. We'll see if we can throw the jinx on. 34-31.
Yeah, he's the guy you want at the line if you're a Trinity fan.
I start to say if you're Trinity, as he knocks them both down, give him 6 on the night.
We got to score quick here.
35-31. Abels is going to catch. Back to Holden. Deep three, left side. Got it to go! Holden with a monster three. 35-34. This group knows no quit. 30-second timeouts all that Coach Smith had left in his pocket with 21.4. Papa Bausman looks and says, points to his arm, ice water in the veins for his son as he's able to soak a deep one.
So what do you do here? Do you try for the steal first, right?
I think you put 2 guys on Shoemaker, you deny him, and you let the freshman catch and put him in a tough situation. He's already missed the front end of a bonus. You know, even if we foul and it's 2, it's still a 1-possession ball game, and
but
you've got an opportunity.
Waste a couple of seconds, try to get that turnover, or do you foul right away?
I don't think you can let. I don't think you can let it get under 16,
I was just asking a coach there. What would you do? So I think
you go for the immediate steal, but if you can get it into.
Well, you don't want to go for the steal
hands,
and then you let them get the long pass, and then you waste 10 seconds.
So it's going to be the freshman that gets it. He was the inbounder. They got it back to him and running the length of the court. They're going to give up foul number 11. And that's going to send Tyler Gerker, the 5'10 freshman, back to the free throw line. Double bonus, even if he hits both, it's a 1-possession game. 17.6 on the clock. Coach Smith out of timeouts. The freshman calmly steps up, knocks the first one down, 36-34. Lutheran will clear everybody out of the paint to be back. 2-point game. And second one rattles home. So Coach Stuckwish is going to burn a timeout. 37-34. This is the moment you live for in Hoosier hysteria. It's going to be a full timeout called by Coach Stuckwish. And we're going to keep it right here.
Boy, that's just, like you said, try to get the best shot available, or do you just, with 17.6, you almost have to draw up a 3, don't you?
Well, if you can't get something immediate to the basket off a dribble drive take, you can't get an and one or a quick basket where you can trade 2 hopefully for 1 again, or 2 for 2. And I think you
what
have
was
to
it, 22 point something the last time?
Yeah.
So we gave up 5 seconds. So I guess if it's that way, we could. Conceivably, you could go for, if they give us a wide open layup, go for it. But be interested to see what Coach draws up here, hey? 1-possession game? Wow. We thought it would be a game like this.
Here comes Abels, 15 seconds, 14. He's going to give it back to Holden, back to Abels, stops, top of the key, 3 ball, off the mark, no good. Mars has it, on the kick out to Holden for 3, couldn't get it to go. And a foul with 2.5 seconds. Senators had 2 wide open looks at it. Abels wide open at the top of the key, just would not go. Mars fighting for the rebound. Give credit where credit is due. Mars able to muscle through and get the kick out to Holden, who had a wide open look. Same spot that he hit it from a while ago, and it just would not go down. 1 free throw here is all they need, and they've got the guy they want, Shoemaker, at the line for the double bonus. First free throw is up and good. And that may have just punched Trinity Lutheran's ticket to the championship tomorrow night.
Yeah, but I
trying
mean,
to
no
do
matter
what the
what.
girls did and win a sectional here in sectional 62. Both of them up and good, and that's going to put the nail in the coffin. 39-34. Zink's going to throw it the full length of the floor, and time's going to expire, and the Senators are going to fall in a heartbreaking fashion. 39-34. They fall by 5 tonight. Valiant effort by this group who fought all year long and come from behind, and just when you think they were dead in the water again, here they come and they pop up through the surface, and they make it a very, very interesting game. 3-point ball game at 37-34 with 2 open looks and just could not get either one of them to go. So it'll be Trinity Lutheran coming back up I-65 tomorrow night, and they will take on the host Edinburgh Lancers for the sectional 62 crown, and the Senators will see their season come to a close at 8-16. Meanwhile, with the win, Lutheran now moves to 9-16 on the year. We'll step aside, we'll take a break, we'll start adding up the numbers. We'll come back to begin our final post-game wrap-up of the year, brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem, as the Senators fall in a heartbreaker tonight, 39-34 here in sectional 62. We'll come back with our post-game right after this.
Yeah, hello, police. Yeah, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel seamanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back for our final Ace Hardware of Salem Senator post-game wrap-up as the Senators fall in an absolute heartbreaker here tonight. They come out and drew first blood with that 3 from Holden, kept it a low-scoring battle, 5-4 after the first quarter, 11-6 ball game at the half, and able to stick right there at the pace that they wanted through basically 3 quarters of play, and then both teams put up, who would have guessed it, 21 points apiece in that fourth and final quarter of play. But as the Senators did not allow Trinity Lutheran a single free throw after they shot 31 in that first meeting back on December 9th. 18 of the 31 came in the fourth. Well, again, tonight. Fourth quarter, the bugaboo as far as allowing Trinity Lutheran to get to the line. Now, granted, they had to get in some situations where they were fouling there late, but Trinity Lutheran tonight in the fourth quarter able to do all of their damage basically from the free throw line, as they were able to go 13 of 15 on the night for 87%. Again, all of that coming in that final quarter of play. Let's go ahead and run down the scoring here tonight for both ball clubs. First, for Trinity Lutheran, who again with the win moves on to tomorrow night's championship game to take on the Lancers of Edinburgh, the host here for sectional 62. Lutheran now 9-16 on the year. They get one guy in double figures tonight. That's Jack Marksberry. He had 8 of those 10 in the first 3 quarters of play. Finished up with a couple of free throws made in that fourth quarter onslaught from the charity stripe. He gets 10 on the evening, backed up by Trent Shoemaker, who scored all 8 of his in the final quarter of play. He was 3 trips to the line, 6 for 6 overall, and a 2-point field goal for him. Tyler Gerker, the freshman, was 6 points on the night. He was 4 of 5 from the free throw line and 1 2-point field goal. Jacob Rowe with a couple of 3-point baskets in the first and third quarters for his 6 points. And A.J. Gerker chipped in 9, including 4 shots made from 2-point range. And he shot the first free throws of the game for Trinity Lutheran with 4:13 left to go in the game. He went 1 of 2 on that trip. Josh Rowe, the only other player in the rotation, a very short bench here tonight for Trinity Lutheran. He started in that first game, played limited minutes here tonight, did not tally. 39 points total on the board in the win for Trinity Lutheran. They go 13 of 15 for the ball game again from the charity stripe, all in that fourth and final quarter of play for 87% on the night. They turn it over 5 times in the first half, 3 in the second half of play for a total of 8 on the night. Meanwhile, for West Washington, a very solid season for a relatively young group. And again, I say this, I'm not getting into the game of we got beat because we're young. Forget about that. I'm not going to play that game.
No,
Here's
not
what
at
I'm
all.
telling you. These guys were young, and I say young. Yeah, we had some freshmen that played and some sophomores, but you think about Nick and Cam even. Very limited minutes at times in games last year because
right,
we were riding
absolutely.
6 seniors to the finish in a lot of those ball games. So a lot of these guys really getting their true first full season of varsity basketball. Tonight, Senators get one guy in double figures to match the 10 from Jack Marksberry. That was freshman Holden Bousman, 10 points on the night. He hit 3 triples. That monster three-pointer made it very interesting down the stretch. Holden finishes with 10 points, 3 makes from downtown, and went 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Cam Zink chips in 2 on the night. 2-point field goal in the third quarter. Parker Green with 7, all in the fourth quarter of play, including 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Jake Strange chipped in 4 off of 2 2-point field goals in the second and fourth quarters combined. And Nick Mars closes out his career, as well as Zink here tonight. And Mars finishes with 7 points in all, 5 of those 7 coming from the free throw line, where he was a perfect 5 of 5 on the night. Harrison Sanford, Caden Abels, Mikey Nichols play. 2 juniors and a sophomore, and the only one to tally was Abels with those quick back-to-back baskets there with under a minute to play. Got the basket, got the steal off the inbounds from Zink, who tipped it back to him for his second basket. Harrison and Mikey, of course, going scoreless with the 34-point total. Senators go 8 of 9. Probably the best free throw shooting, or some of the best that we've had all year. Again, it's the volume or lack of volume.
I was just getting ready to say
that we just did not have here tonight. A night where you're hot from the free throw line. Just wish you could have got there 2 or 3 times, as many times rather, as what you did. Again, 8 of 9 on the night. 3 turnovers in the first half, 4 in the second half for just 7 in the ball game. Great job of taking care of the rock. Had a couple of costly possessions where we had some untimely turnovers, but for the most part, 7 turnovers. I think if you said that to Coach Smith coming in, he would have taken that. Absolutely. So 1 player in double figures for each ball club. After the first quarter, it was 5-4. Trinity Lutheran with a 1-point edge. They outscore West Washington 6-2 in the second quarter to take an 11-6 advantage in to the halftime break. 7-7. teams go even Steven in the third quarter, and that takes us to an 18-13 score heading into the fourth. And then both teams decide to come to life and put on an offensive display as both of them post 21 points in that fourth quarter of play, leaving the Senators at arm's length and distance from the Cougars, keeping them at bay, a 5-point deficit, and that's where we end the night, a 39-34 final. We'll step aside, we'll take a break, we'll come back and let Coach Gibson run down some of the numbers from the team statistics and shooting in this one. Senators fall here tonight, sectional 62 as they see their season come to a close. We'll come back with more of our Ace Hardware of Salem postgame show right after this word from one of our sponsors.
You know, there are a lot of reasons why we go to a doctor, just to make sure everything is running right. Maybe checking our weight, eyes, ears, nose, and throat, and blood pressure. Now, have you ever noticed how your car or truck is a lot like our bodies? And sometimes we have to go to a car repair place for the same kind of tune-up. And sometimes this happens. Perhaps it's a fender bender, or you slipped on a patch of ice, or you hit a deer, or your teenager driving your car thought he was Mario Andretti. Good thing there's Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They put hundreds of cars and trucks back on the road with outstanding collision repair work, using only genuine replacement parts. A lot of other places don't. And they work with most major insurance companies, from minor dings to major collision work and expert paint matching. Talk to Paul at Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They're open 7:30 to 5:30 Mondays through Fridays. And if you happen to need a loaner, they can handle that too. You'll find him at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem.